Hi, my name is Catherine Hudson, and this is the third video that I've made about the extension of unemployment benefits to the long-term unemployed Americans. Today's date is March 5th, 2014, and as of today, it has been almost 70 days since Congress ended the last extension of unemployment benefits for people like myself and for 1.3 million Americans. As of today and this week, that number has now skyrocketed to over 2 million unemployed workers who are no longer receiving benefits. 70 days, almost 10 weeks without a paycheck. 10 weeks without a safety net. Now, I was just paying attention to my news tonight because I wanted to hear what the weather forecast was for the week. I live in Baltimore, Maryland. It has been, well, I thought it was the coldest winter on whatever, but it has been the coldest winter on record. And it was confirmed this evening. And not just here, but in many parts of the country. Places like Illinois, who also has one of the highest unemployment records in the United States right now, and who also has a senator, Senator Kirk, who was one of the senators who could have voted to extend unemployment benefits, who had promised over and over again that he would, and then at the last minute decided to vote with his party and vote against it. Just a reminder, if you haven't seen the last two videos, which I don't expect you to, but I am a single mother. I'm 44. I'll be 45 in May. My daughter, who is the love of my life, will be 3 in May. So, as you can imagine, having a small child, not having a job, it has been almost 14 months since my last full-time job, has been stressful to say the least, anxiety-provoking, fear-inducing. Yeah, all those adjectives would describe my experience pretty well. And since losing my benefits at the end of December, I did qualify for food stamps. I am now on Medicaid. And by the grace and kindness of a few friends, I have been able to scrape by enough money to pay for this last month's rent, to keep my internet on, and keep my cell phone on, and right now not be behind on anything, which is a blessing. But every month I march closer and closer and closer to possible homelessness and to losing everything. But I'm not here to throw a pity party for myself, and I realize that these videos could be seen by a potential employer as a pity party, and oh, don't hire her because she just, she can't hack it or whatever. I'm really not worried about that. Opinions don't matter to me because I know what a hard worker I am. As a matter of fact, while I've been unemployed for the last year and plus, I have used that time to update my skills, to learn more about the things that I'm interested in doing for the future, which is social media. I am an award-winning writer, which I've been for many years, so I've learned to integrate all those skills so that I can be a more marketable candidate. My biggest barrier to employment currently is getting proper and good daycare for my daughter. I don't have parents that are living. My parents passed away, unfortunately, when I was very young, and I don't have any relatives who live nearby, so I don't have free daycare. Daycare for me is going to be about $100 a week at the very minimum, and that's being, kind of naive, I think. But I am here because I'm one of the few people that is just unfiltered about this. I'm not embarrassed of my situation. I'm not embarrassed to be who I am. And I am not afraid to speak up for those who might be afraid to speak up for themselves, because there are many people and they're hiding in the shadows, or they can't come out of those shadows because they've lost everything. Again, I reiterate, we are dealing with one of the coldest winters on record ever. Cold. In Baltimore, it's been, mid-20s on a good day. This week it was like 12 degrees most of the week. And in that time, I've been getting tweets and emails from people that have lost their homes, or they're just days away from it. They've had their cell phones shut off, so they can't even receive phone calls from potential employers that they may have sent resumes out to. And they're losing everything. I read a really disturbing blog on the Wall Street Journal just 2 days ago, which I had posted on Twitter, about people selling everything. I don't really have anything to sell. So quite honestly, I can't sell my computer. My computer is my lifeline to the world. But I really have so little to just sell and get rid of that most of my stuff could fairly be considered junk, or it's just not worth much. But I feel for these people that have lost everything. There are people that are losing homes, that are losing, cars, and savings that have been built up for years, 401ks that have been built up for years. We're talking about people in their 50s now who were hoping to retire in 15, 20 years, who can't and won't be able to, because the well is literally dry and tapped out from not having anything to put back into it. And lest anybody thinks that living off unemployment is some day at the beach where we're sitting around sipping margaritas and listening to Jimmy Buffett, I can assure you that it's not. In fact, during the sequestration over the summer, not only did Congress shut down the government, but for several months, many of us on unemployment had our benefits cut significantly. Mine were cut by 1/3 a month. So those months were extremely lean, and of course I still didn't qualify for other benefits, so I had to make do. I had to just bare bone it, and I'm used to that. And now I'm starting my own business. I am a writer. I am a copywriter. I am an award-winning writer, so I'm very successful at what I do and can do it for other people. But there are lots of people that do not have skills to fall back on. They cannot start their own business. And even in starting my own business, I have to tell you, there are things that I would like to, make a little nicer, such as a nicer website and things like that. But it costs money. Money I frankly do not have. My rent, which is due today, without penalty, is, going to cost me everything that I have in my checking account. I will have $10, well, give or take, $10 left after I pay my rent today. And I know I'm not the only one in that particular position. There are others that are much worse. Had it not been for a few friends slipping me a little bit of cash, giving me a little bit of money, a friend who mailed me a check, I'm grateful for all of it. But my friends should not have to foot my bills any more than, anyone should foot anybody's bills. The unemployment system, we paid into that. If you're people like me, who's been working since you were 14 and you were working and paying to the IRS since then, that's 30 years. Even in the years that I didn't work full-time, I contributed full-time, and I volunteer. In fact, one of the things I've been proud to do, and it's been my pleasure while I've been out of work, has been to find volunteer opportunities and to pursue them. It's a little tougher now with the toddler, but I do that. In the meantime, I'm just begging you, if this is not your issue, or you're not passionate about it, or you don't know anybody that's suffering through the situation, okay, fine. If you want to make fun of my videos, fine too, I don't care. I really don't. But if you care even the smallest, just the little teensiest about people, children, older people, because let me tell you, you can't retire early these days. please call your congressman. Start with your senators. The Senate must pass this bill first. They are supposed to be dealing with it this week. So call your senators and urge them, and especially the Republican senators. There are a couple that were holdouts. I'm going to put all that information in a nice, neat little box on my YouTube video page here. And then move on to the House of Representatives. John Boehner and his ilk don't want to extend this because they keep saying they have to pay for it first. Well, I have news for all of you Americans, my fellow Americans, those of us who work for a living or want to work for a living. They've been giving away our money yet again to companies like GE. They gave them $6 billion a few months ago. And they've been doing things like cutting from the poorest people in our country. They passed that farm bill last month. Hey, great, we're all happy about that. But then they cut the food stamp benefits, SNAP, so that people who rely on that to eat, to feed their children, their families, are getting much less than before. And that is a boat that once you start rocking it, people start falling out and drowning, to be frank. So call those people in power. Tweet them. President Barack Obama is on Twitter. Tweet him as well. Include him in your tweets. Put the little @ sign in there and then the name. It's easy to find on Twitter. I can educate you further. If you need more help, you just send me an email. But in the meantime, we need advocates and we need friends that fight for us. And if you're a friend and you're a family member, then you will fight and you will take up this fight as your own. And I'm just saying that it needs to be done now. If you're going to tweet about it, hashtag Renew, RENEWUI, and make your voice heard, and make the voices of people like me heard. People who are parents, and even those who are non-parents. I care as much about single people and people who are childless or child-free as I do about families, because we're all human beings and we should be cared for. We should not be left out in the cold on the coldest winter ever. And I'm just asking you now, be a friend, be a fellow countryman, and help us out. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope that this message is being heard loud and clear by the right people, because I'm not going anywhere. As long as I have an internet connection and a computer, I'm still going to be a pain in your side. Thank you. And you know what? Again, God bless America if you believe in God. And if you don't, I still like you, because I have a thing for people who have opinions and ideas of their own.